This morning I declined an interview with the New York Post because I wanted to tell you my story from my perspective. When I posted that video, I had no idea that would go so viral. I am in a nightmare roommate situation. That was me in the thick of what the hap is f***ing. But after discussing this with so many New Yorkers, they were like, this is part of the hazing ritual. You have to have a bad roommate. This is my experience of what happened. I entered into a verbal month-to-month agreement with my friend's roommate. I met them, they seemed cool. I was only gonna sublet for 3 months. It was super simple. Paid the first month's rent, and then I was asked for more money that wasn't priorly discussed. I declined politely, and then declined a second request after I had moved in completely. And then on the third day, while editing Cracker Barrel Whore, she's a Cracker Barrel whore, it escalated to the point that they demanded 50% of ticket sales from an event that I never asked them to plan for me. Among a lot of other things, I put my foot down, told them to back off. I felt like I was being taken advantage of, and I believe as soon as they realized that they were not going to get money out of me or insert themselves into my business, they wanted me out. And after days of bullshit, the NYC tenant law was in my favor. They offered to pay me a settlement that covered my damages and move-in costs. In the meantime, I am not staying at a place that I am not welcome, so I'm trying to find a sublet anywhere I could find it. But I also have 3 months worth of my things with me because I basically packed everything I owned. I felt so unstable, so unsafe. Every decision was hour by hour. I found one sublet that I was like, this is it, and it literally fell through the night before I had to vacate the apartment. It was so stressful. And ultimately, I'm there for business. The people that I know in New York City are mostly professional contacts, so I didn't feel very comfortable couch surfing on their couch. So I booked an Airbnb for 4 days to make sure I had enough time to kind of maybe find something. And then I walked into the Airbnb and there was hair all over the wall, everywhere. And so I spent one night in that nightmare Airbnb that they didn't give me a motherfucking refund. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to call it. I'm going to quit the financial bleeding and I'm just going to go home. And in short, that's what happened. But I did learn one thing. Most people go to New York City to discover who they are. I went to New York City and discovered that I already knew who the f I was. I'm just not going to be polite about it anymore. If someone is trying to take advantage of you, stand up for yourself. You may be feeling all of the immediate terror and like, oh, I don't want to do this, but you're going to be so thankful that you did. And I absolutely needed this experience. It did not work out the way that I thought it was going to, but it worked out the way that I needed it to go in order to learn the lessons that I need for the future. And I'm going to pivot like I always do. But I wanted to address a couple comments. Someone said to me, you can always go home. I don't know what world you're in, but no, you can't. Not a lot of people can. Every single day my parents are getting older, my home is not guaranteed. And I will come home to my mom until the day that I can't anymore. Can't even think about it. Real world grit is not measured by how much chaos you're willing to tolerate or how much dysfunction that you're willing to endure. I'm also now 24. I want my comfort. I want my safety. And I'm not going to apologize for that. All I'm saying is my mom's f you energy is no longer laying dormant within inside of my body anymore. She's alive. She's free. If you have any nightmare roommate situations, please DM me your story. Be a fucking delight, bitch, and rip those spiritual toots and stand up for yourself.